welcome to the monster review of the newest and latest VoltaiK the Redeemed. Alright, let's see this finisher. I remember it being slightly different. I like how the finishers are all slightly different, but they're all really cool. Like look, this one's a light instead of thunder. And it's a like sunny day instead of like a dark day. It's cool. So, VoltaiK the Redeemed is a thunder and light galactic era monster. He's far from perfect, but that's what makes VoltaiK the superhero he is his ability to learn from his mistakes. His flirtation with the dark side is over, and he's here to redeem himself in the best way possible, by saving the entire galaxy from the terror of abominations on his own. Alright, his finisher removes all negative status effects. Alright, I like that. So if you were possessed and you do this finisher, it'll do it to the enemies. Normally VoltaiK is immune to possession, but looks like that's not the case here. It gives 100% of life and stamina to itself. Ooh, alright, you really... Wait, what? Removes positive status effects from all enemies and disables trait. Gives 1 extra turn to itself. So this is a move meant to completely disable everyone, give you your tools back, and just let you infinite extra turn kill everybody. That is an amazing finisher, and I love baby VoltaiK. It is so derpy. Alright, his evolving trait. You start off with tough, a great umbrella trait. 35% accuracy. It's a good chance things won't land on you. There's a lot of denial in the meta right now. There always is. But you know, there's some pretty good denial monsters floating around, especially now. So it's great to have your tough, you know, maybe it doesn't land. You're immune to electrified, meaning you can give yourself dodge area. And this, funnily enough, is a monster that will give himself the status caster dodge area without having it beforehand. Which, I mean, I'd much rather him just have a status caster dodge area like the last VoltaiK, because that made him really powerful. But I guess they don't want to just make a clone. So you have an effect that'll make it so that they can't block it with electrified. Of course, no one was using electrified to block dodge area. They were using other things like negative effect block and like all that, but still, it's nice in concept. And status caster self evasion, much like UV fusion, his lover in the past season, except without the positive effect protection that made it so deadly. He starts the game off with evasion. This might be better. It's another thing, like the electrified, it's situational, because hardly anyone uses electrified and stuff like that. No one ever uses it to try and block it. And if you have evasion, it's for that small possibility that the last VoltaiK you were using and someone had cold blood. There's a new cold blood talent, so they could go past the Megaton monster, they could go past your taunt dodge area and kill your VoltaiK. So now you just start with a straight up evasion. Now the bad thing about it is, even if you do taunt dodge area, it can just be cleansed away, and he won't have any sort of protection that protects him from normal AoEs and such. The good thing about it is it protects him from cold blood users, which there's a new talent that gives cold blood. It's super situational, I think, to activate it, but the point is that you can give cold blood to pretty much any galactic era monster now. How good that is up for debate, but you know, that's the only reason why I can think of that he has evasion instead of dodge area. So let's check out his skill set. I've seen good things. I've seen really good things. Alright, so sadly I am like low on food on this account. I planned for this account, I'm not going to use it anymore. I'm going to use my pro account, so ooh, auto skip. Okay, I just barely made it to 35. Alright, so, the Returned. Moderate light damage to one enemy, applies Repentance. It's a light attack. 0 turn cooldown, 25 stamina, and I should say, I forgot to mention, that his element, it is almost perfect for the meta. Because you have light, which we live in a light fire meta, so being light is an absolute win. You just fit right in. Being thunder, the only thing was that he was going to be annoying, that you couldn't fight a Galvanus because they were the same exact element, and he completely counters dodge area. But VoltaiK actually has a counter for anticipation monsters that I'll show you later. And wow, he actually has rank up moves that you have to rank him up for. That is surprising. Oh, wait, what? Damage boost removes all torches? Oh, but they're bad. They're bad. Except for 50k volts. That one's kind of needed. And then this one, dodge area, evasion, and anti. That is also going to be a move you want to run. So, okay, let me get back on track. Returned, 25 stamina, 0 turn cooldown. Alright, it's just a normal attack, but you're only using ETs on this guy. Amp power, a spammable low thunder, but, you know, whatever. 20k volts, alright? If you're an OG, you know we just say 20k, 50k volts. Okay, deals moderate thunder damage to an enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself. Alright, so I'm pretty sure all of the monsters, even the dark one, has 20k volts as a thunder attack. So this is just your moderate thunder. The other attacks he uses are light, which really do give you a hard time in the meta, because there's so many light monsters that it's not as good as when Dark VoltaiK was released, and then they released some OP earth monsters and he could destroy them. Or even that there weren't light monsters to counter him. But yeah. So this is going to be one of your better attacks to take them down. Seek Redemption applies Repentance to one enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself. Okay, on a 0 turn cooldown, 28 stamina. Let me think about like the strategic implications of just having a spammable non-attack move. So, ooh, that's really good, actually, thinking about it. Okay, so the way I see it, they say, you know, you have Repentance, it'll guarantee that your attacks land, and Repentance once, for you to do infinite extra turns and they all land, goes a long way. You can repeat it every single cycle, so it'll be making sure that your infinite barrage is all landing. Plus, the way I see it, if you played competitively, you'll know that sometimes you'll fight like a Mare Modus with like Kevlar's Vest, and if you attack them, or even a King Autumn, and if you attack them without killing them, you'll die, right? It'll kick in, it'll kill you. But if you have a move without any damage, you can wait and cycle this until you get one of your high damage moves, and then you can do whatever move, probably light shocks, that'll kill them, and then boom, that just works really well strategy wise, because I've seen this play out a lot whenever I try to give extra turn monsters, especially Dark VoltaiK, usage in war. So light shocks deals moderate light damage to one enemy, deals moderate light damage to all enemies, gives 1 extra turn. This is the biggest, most nostalgic move ever, because now they have a light, a static shocks for thunder, dark shocks for dark, and light shocks for light element. It's really cool. Just a moderate light damage to an enemy, and then deals moderate to all. I mean, it's a single then AoE with moderate damage and then an extra turn on a 1 turn cooldown, 45 stamina. The stamina's kind of steep, but you could cycle it. That is so great. Alright, Magic Love, which Magic Love you're just going to upgrade to the Light of Love when you rank them up. Applies Anticipation Hater to itself, applies Evasion to itself. So Anticipation Hater is one of the only gimmicks that surprised me that has the potential to really let him shine in spite of Anticipation monsters. Because if he sees Anticipation, the AI is going to do this move. And then when it comes back, you know, maybe the evasion protected him. He's going to see the Anticipation monsters, and usually ET monsters won't attack if someone has Anticipation. But the AI will be like, oh, I have the hater, and then they'll just destroy them. So it's pretty great. He's going to be nice on defense, especially how you can run him with this 0 turn cooldown move to cycle into attacks. And you can run this, although when you run a non-infinite extra turn move on an infinite extra turn monster, it usually does it by the end of its cycle, and that might not result in a ton of damage. Still, I'd say it's a must-run, because Anticipation Hater is really the biggest thing giving this guy a shot in the meta. Thunder Sparks gives 30% of stamina to itself, deals moderate thunder damage to all enemies. So just a stamina thunder AoE. Obviously, any move with an infinite extra turn monster that gives itself stamina seems like a good idea, but this doesn't give you an extra turn or anything like that. And it's a moderate AoE. At least it's pretty good damage, but I'd just say don't run it because you have better. Light Assault deals low light damage to one enemy, gives an extra turn to itself. Okay, so 0 turn cooldown, this is the usual move. And one thing about this VoltaiK is that he has got to be the first VoltaiK with a dot included, which does just make it cost more stamina. But light assault is what you're used to, dark assault, and I don't know if VoltaiK had a move like that, but it's a 0-turn cooldown attack, and you've really got to debate whether you want to be able to give them a dot and secure every other attack, or if you just want them to infinitely attack and not have any move wasted with no damage. Personally, I think, I don't know, it's a really hard choice, but I'm just going to go Seek Redemption, just for the strategic implications of it. And then I'll go over these moves, even though they're locked. This one is 58 stamina for 4-turn cooldown. That is massive. 50,000 volts, and it is thunder damage, thank goodness. Deals heavy thunder damage to one enemy, gives 1 extra turn to itself. Okay, so that's just your big, heavy thunder attack, and then extra turn. Although that high stamina, high cooldown, really, yikes. Then this, I really like. It's got the same cooldown, but it's only 10 stamina instead of 55. It's a magic move as a shout out to, as mentioned in both His Love UV Fusion. I don't know why I always dropped that in there. Applies Anticipation Hater, and it does give you that evasion. So for a lot less stamina, it's already the better move. Plus, it gives you dodge area. It only lasts 2 turns, but with that electrified, situationally, no one can block that from you unless they use the traditional methods, and dodge area. That's the big thing that Dark VoltaiK got so popular for. It was so powerful back in the day. Nowadays, to have to apply dodge area, and it wouldn't be as useful, and it only lasts 2 turns when he's going to infinitely cycle it off. I don't know how great it is anymore, but it's definitely still an amazing move that you might run. I think ideally you'd love to run like a Magic of Love move, but I think you just want to replace that with 50k volts just for the most damage. Or you run the Anticipation Hater, I don't know. When I get him at rank 2, I'll come at you with all of these different strategies. Alright, Light Within. Applies a damage boost to itself, removes all torches from itself. I really like this because what this tells me is that they put all of the good moves like up here, like Light Shocks, Magic Love, 2000 volts, instead of putting them all the way down here by giving a really bad move up here so that it doesn't even matter if you have them rank 1, which is great because free monsters with 3 traits never have unlockable moves like that. You need to get them at a high rank for, because it's just not as appetizing when you don't need them at 5 stars. Some people just don't rank them up at all. I guess beginners, right? It's not as important. So they just put a throwaway move here, which I like, so that your ideal skill set is still going to be the usual VoltaiK move, and you won't be like betraying the legacy by having some outlandish stuff. And then another throwaway move, Redemption Rays, which I always like this. They put the worst move at the very end, so that if you have it at rank 1, at least you have his best unlockable move. Rank 2, you got the second best. Some people, the best might be right here or something like that, but the last one is never good. Redemption Rays deals low light damage to one enemy, deals moderate light damage to all enemies, so it's basically Light Shocks, but with worse damage. So it's really bad just to ensure that you don't run it, so that it's a throwaway move. Like, don't even consider it, is what they're basically saying with it. Because it's even like only slightly less stamina, same cooldown. Deals low light damage to one enemy, deals moderate light damage to all, and then it does add Repentance, which it adds a dot that you can just spammably apply. So, what do I think? I mean, obviously, I gotta love the monster. This is VoltaiK. He's very endeared. Weird that he's gotten 2 reboots already. He's like one of the first monsters to do so. But still, he's very, nostalgic to see. Now, I'm going to showcase him. This is not going to be easy, because I have a super low level VoltaiK. In fact, he is way too low of a level. Darn, what am I going to do? Where do you just get tons of food from in this game? Nope, I'm not buying any food. what I have to do. Level 41 VoltaiK, 38,000 speed. I'll try and make it work. Alright, so I'll just scroll back for a while. And you are the lucky soul. Alright, VoltaiK, so Thunder, VoltaiK. And did this account have the Dark VoltaiK? I forget. No, that sucks. That sucks. That is probably gonna be a bad decision, but whatever. And then some mythic denier, Zyron. Alright, so this is just to give VoltaiK an opportunity. Usually VoltaiK, one of the big facts about him is that he's always deceptively fast. He's always fast. So yeah, so you're just turn transfer and then boom. The only thing with this skill set, which is his rank 1 skill set, is that you aren't doing the most damage because you don't. I love that animation. Whoa, it has so many glimmers. Boom. Okay, that is awesome. So first you're going to be applying repentance, and then boom, if you have Lion, you're golden. Now the only thing is, the idea behind repentance being good for VoltaiK is very flimsy because he's an attacker, right? He attacks forever, and the first idea is, oh, he won't miss his attacks. But the trick behind that is, bulwark, hardened.